Hey folks, how's it going out there? How you doing out there? That's my catchphrase. Welcome to another Drink and a Wink Info Review. We are headlong and steaming through Paddyrama 2026. Going to be probably doing a video a night until Tuesday. Maybe. I'm not sure about that. Maybe. And right now we're in the middle of this single pot still Irish whiskey series. Yesterday, if you didn't catch that video, I mosey on down back a few videos. I think I shared it again. We talked about the wonderful Green Spot from Irish Distillers Limited, and we talked about Teeling from the newest distillery in Dublin. Sorry, that opened up in Dublin in a very, very long time. All right, we'll get to this here today. Today we're going to continue with our single pot still Irish whiskey. Michelle is currently making some brownies. We just had a fabulous dinner of Thai food. Amazing. And if we don't get we don't have to find a life raft or something I'm sorry, Michelle's looking at me like, all right, get it together, Scores. You started this thing. Get yourself out of it. It's been raining like crazy today. Again, it seems like this last couple of weeks, it just, like, if I am getting in and out of the car, it just starts raining like crazy. But now we're back here. Michelle's making some brownies, and she's sitting over yonder with a glass of some Green Spot, and I gave her a little bit of the Teeling Pot Still Irish whiskey to taste, so she can maybe give me a little bit of an idea of what she's tasting there from yesterday's video. But today we're going to talk about two of my all-time favorite single pot still Irish whiskeys. The first one, and as I had mentioned yesterday, what I'm trying to do is, we have a lot of Irish Distillers bottlings, Irish Distillers Limited, because that's going to be Powers, it's going to be the Spots, it's going to be Jameson, it's going to be Redbreast. I'm leaving something out that's just like right there, and I don't even know, I can't even remember what I'm talking about. But anyway, we have any number of single pot still Irish whiskeys from that kind of group of distillers, group of brands, I should say, because they're all distilled at the Middleton Distillery. Yesterday we talked about the Green Spot. We're going to talk about Redbreast here. So even though those are two different names, they're distilled in the same place, essentially. Still maintaining their own character, because I did, as I said, drink Green Spot yesterday, refreshed my memory on Redbreast today, and yeah, they're very, very different. So it's not anything in terms of similar stuff. So anyway, we're trying to put a non-Irish Distillers Limited brand or distillate against one of those. So today we're going to talk about Redbreast 12, and then it's a little short, squat bottle. Maybe that's why I like it, because it kind of reminds me of myself. That doesn't sound very good. Be nice to yourself, Scorza. Anyway, Kilbeggan, single pot still Irish whiskey. We've talked about this before. One of my all-time favorites in terms of single pot still Irish whiskey. Refreshing our memory, just from yesterday, if you didn't watch that video, single pot still Irish whiskey. The quick breakdown. I'm just going to do it very quickly. The differentiation between this and what we might think of blended whiskey or single malt whiskey is this. Single malt means it's just malted barley, which has a certain taste profile. It's roasted, has a kind of a roasted nut feel. We know what's happening there when they malt barley, okay? They let it just start to sprout. They cut that off with heat. Then that produces a different kind of reaction. Also, when it mixes with the yeast, because it's kind of quasi broken down, the yeast will react to that in a certain way. Blended whiskeys are going to be all manner of grains. The interesting thing about Irish whiskey, single pot still Irish whiskey, is that again we are talking about both malted and unmalted barley, and then there can be some little additions. Those additions can be any other grain. Right now, you could only have 5% of the total mash bill be a grain other than malted barley and unmalted barley. Okay. And today we're going to have one of them that does have a little addition. I was looking around. I'm pretty sure Redbreast 12 is a single or just a 50-50 or something of that nature, malted to unmalted. We'll find out a little bit more on that. So what I'm going to start with, I'm going to start with the Kilbeggan first. Kilbeggan is a wonderful kind of smaller distillery. They don't do a lot of fancy bottling. I've heard interviews. They're very kind of street type folk people, very folksy. And I've heard a master distiller and I think just a warehouse manager interview. Very cool folks, but they're not. You're not going to go on their website and see a whole bunch of really fancy cutting edge stuff. They're very traditional. Their bottles look traditional. We recently had bought their. The triple cask, which we enjoy greatly. But that's a blended Irish whiskey. The Kilbeggan single pot still, unfortunately, is a limited release and comes and goes. But we'll get into that more later. Kilbeggan is the oldest licensed distillery in Ireland. I think it was 1757. It's on the bottle, all that kind of stuff. But like all the Irish distilleries, they either were sold off to Irish distillers, actually, the company, or they were shuttered. Again, we've talked about this through the middle end period of the 20th century. Irish whiskey, a lot of companies shuttered, folded, blah, 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 went away, came back. Anyway, Kilbeggan did come back in 2010, okay? And the way that this has been explained is... it came back in 2010. Actually, we've talked about this company, the company Cooley, okay, which was run by John Teeling, okay, at the time, bought Kilbeggan, the site, in 1988. And then after they were just doing it for warehousing, and then I guess they found a still in there, and they started producing in there. 2010, Kilbeggan was back in form. They got another still, and it is back. And the regular Kilbeggan, just blended Irish whiskey, very tasty, holds its own with all the others. The triple cask we just mentioned is very nice, but this one is unbelievable. On the nose, rich cinnamon hazelnut. Oh man. Wow. A little bit of cocoa powder. There's also some apricot, and actually what's interesting is, would you have, Michelle, dried apricot, like strips, like apricot fruit, right? like mango, like what you, that's a thing, right? Apricot, that's one of them. That's what this smells like. It doesn't smell like fresh apricot. It might smell like dried apricot, maybe a little mango in there as well. It's just a phenomenal nose, unbelievable on the taste. I am going to stop drinking this, other than what I poured today, because this is the only bottle I could find for this stuff right now. There's a cereal note in there. This is definitely a breakfast spice kind of flavor. That might be because, as I mentioned, there is 2%, or I think maybe 2.5% oat in this total combination of barley, unmalted barley, and oats here. And it just really pops through. this is like breakfast in a cup. You shouldn't drink during for breakfast. So let's call it what? Mimosas? Okay. But this is let's call breakfast for dinner in a cup. Oh, but again, it's not sweet. It just has this nice, rich, brown notes. There's not a lot of earthiness to this. There's not really wine influence, and part of this is also because I think, for the most part, maybe completely, this might just be whiskey aged in ex-bourbon casks. There's not as much information for this one. That's the way Kilbeggan does it. They just put out their stuff, say have it, enjoy it. It's good. And what I love about this one, yeah, summer fruits, fresh mint. I don't know that I get a lot of mint, but it's creamy. The mouthfeel is spectacular. Spectacular. It's a nice, big, bold flavor. I'll get into the Kilbeggan a little more later, just in terms of like the specifics. But this is just so good. You get the flavor and the meatiness of pot still Irish whiskey from there. I'm going to have to do more than just drink a little water. Actually, what I'm going to do, in a pinch here, I'm going to put a little salt in this water, just to kind of break it up here. Yeah, sometimes that just a little addition of table salt to the water will kind of get me ready for the next sip. All right, that's Kilbeggan. We'll get back to the details. Now we're going to go to the Pride and Joy Redbreast 12. Now, if you go into a bar and they have a single pot still Irish whiskey, and they should, right? If any bar that I'm going to should have one, right, Michelle? Are they gonna? Which this is probably the one that you're going to see up at the top of the shelf, right? Like, yeah. Then maybe the Spots, or maybe Powers, John's Lane, or Three Swallows. But yeah, that's part of it. All right. Everyone knows about Redbreast. The other thing about it is the color on the label matches the end live video button on Facebook. That doesn't really matter. It is a 12-year-old whiskey. This one is going to be kind of a blend of both ex-bourbon and Oloroso sherry. A little bit about this. So this was produced. The Redbreast brand has been around for years and years and years, and this was originally marketed under the company called Gilby. I won't get into this whole lot, but Gilby stopped producing this again around 1985. You can see the middle of the 80s. Companies were going and coming and being sold, and there wasn't much of a demand for it. So he decided, or they decided, to sell Redbreast to the Irish distillers in 1986. The brand was relaunched in 1991 after several years from absence in the market. So this was the first one that they released, this 12-year-old. Again, a mix of toasted, mix of ex-bourbon and Oloroso sherry. That's going to give us probably more fruit notes than the Kilbeggan that we had. On the nose, yes, we get some fruit notes. Yes, we get some nutty notes. But there's also this, I always get this with Redbreast, kind of a vanilla cream, wafery quality. I don't know if Michelle would agree with that. I mean, you've had enough Redbreast to kind of know that, or like the filling in a really good lemon cookie, that like vanilla kind of thing. I guess that would be lemony too. That's in the nose. Yeah, very pleasant. Wow, that's tasty. And what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to switch this up. Yeah, There was no way I could even mistake this. And I'm going to pour a little more Redbreast because someone drinks for a little bit more because I haven't had it in a while. What can I tell you about Redbreast? Unlike Kilbeggan, again, Redbreast is one of the Irish distilleries, Irish distillers' flagship products. Redbreast 12. It gets more publicity than the Spots. It's priced a little more affordably than the Spots, and I think it has a more exciting flavor than the Spots. Not necessarily meaning that it's that the Spots are bad. I think the Spots just have a little bit of a more of a traditional vibe. At least the Green Spot does, and that's kind of what Redbreast and Green Spot are kind of priced very similarly. Whereas the Yellow Spot, which we'll talk about tomorrow, which is also a 12-year product, that's priced higher than both of these. It's also got a higher ABV. On the nose here, again, a little bit of evergreen, a little bit of mintiness, but the fruits pop through. I'm trying to think if there's anything else on here that's not kind of... yeah, there is a toasted nut note, toasted, a little bit of toasted oak. There's a bit of wood flavor in here. It's just outstanding. On the taste, whereas this was all breakfast spices and all very much ex-bourbon cask and cereal note. This one has less cereal note and more of a fruity note. Boy, I forgot how good Redbreast 12 is. So in 2011, as we said, it was relaunched in 1991. 2011, Redbreast, and then they repackaged this bad boy, Green Spot, and then Powers John Lane and Barry Crockett Legacy. That is what what it kind of Irish distillers kind of came together and just. It's like, here we go. Here's all these different single pastille Irish whiskeys. Everyone is a little different. I've had John's Lane, and I'm sorry, we just don't have any. Yeah, that's Teeling's pastille Irish whiskey. What? That really is good, right? See, she didn't even know what she was really drinking over there. Do you like it? I mean, it's not better or worse. It's very different from the Green Spot, right? Yeah, and kind of what I'm talking about with like. Is that more breakfasty to you too as well, or nutty, or roasted kind of?
Breakfasty, and yeah, you get something with the nutty, almond. There was something kind of floral in it.
Okay, interesting.
I mean, floral in a nutty way.
Okay.
You can consider almond. Floral note.
Yeah. I think that one is a 50-50 right down the middle, unmalted, malted, but it's bottled a little higher at 46. So yeah, Michelle was just drinking Green Spot and then tried a little of the Teeling single pastille we were talking about yesterday. So she heard her, she liked it. she distracted me in a good way to let me know. I'm sorry, I was just screwing something up here. I was reading something about Kilbeggan. Let me get. No, I was. Okay, good. No, I was reading the right thing. Is there anything else about Redbreast that I can tell you that's interesting? Single pot still Irish whiskey, and I think Michelle will agree. It's just an embarrassment of riches, right? You don't, $60 bottles here. I think we've talked about all of those. Redbreast is a little higher these days, but it's just they're all very tasty, right? And again, it's still unique. I would, let's get into the details on this. All right, will this stay up here? I don't trust it. Let's talk about Kilbeggan first. Kilbeggan, again, this is a limited release, so this will come and go. But if you are a fan of this type of whiskey, single pot still Irish whiskey, remember. Another thing. The reason why this has a little bit meatier flavor is that they're one of the few Irish distilleries that only double distill. They do not triple distill like many Irish whiskeys. So that just means it's going to have a little bit heavier vibe, a little meatier, a little bit maybe more viscous mouthfeel. That's their preference, which is great. Redbreast 12, dried fruit and spice. And that's exactly it. That's exactly it. I said that. It's not, then now it's on this. Wasn't I talking about dried fruit, right? There's a lot of. Here's the one thing about Redbreast that you need to know. I'm going to put the link to their website when I finish this up. They give you maybe too much information. They really like sharing their information. Really let it rip. It's all very interesting. It's very good. And they also have a Listau edition, which is a no-age statement, but basically using the same recipe as this. We've had a little sampler of that, enjoyed that. That just means there's another finish aging on it. There's a 15-year-old Redbreast. There's a 21, which is still available here. And then there is actually a 27. You should check all of those out. But I failed to mention that there is also a 12-year-old cask strength. And a few years ago, I think when I bought this last bottle for ourselves of the 12, or maybe we've bought another one since, but in any case, I bought this, and then a friend of mine, Sea-Dog, he bought a, so this has to be quite a few years ago, he bought the cask strength Redbreast. And I will tell you that that is a big difference. And again, like the Green Spot, the Redbreast 12 here, standard range, is bottled at 40%. And I will tell you that it could stand to just have a little more pinginess, a little bit more punch with a higher ABV. The Kilbeggan that we were just talking about earlier, this is at 43, 42, 43. And it serves it well. I will tell you more about Redbreast in a second. All right, let's wrap it up. The Kilbeggan, like I said, this one, if you see this in the store and you like single pot still Irish whiskey, just buy it, okay? It's not going to be, like I was looking around today, it's not going to be in your normal, retail stores, but you might find it somewhere, and if it's in the $60, $70 range, it's well worth it, okay? You'll love it. You might put it on your cereal for breakfast or your French toast. The Redbreast 12, I'm going to say this. I would give this a very high rating. All of these are really kind of, hitting at the same level for me. Right now, maybe I would say that Green Spot might be just a notch below the other three that we've had so far. Again, Redbreast 12, Kilbeggan, and Teeling. Yeah, I actually, since the video yesterday, I'm going to say Green Spot just notched down a little bit. And again, most of it is because it's at 40% ABV, and it's not a real punchy presentation. So, yeah, that's it. But that's just Redbreast 12 suffers from the same thing. Wish I could get it at 43 or 46. However, they do have this 12-year-old cask strength, and I have had it, and that is phenomenal. So this is going to be my advice to you. Right now, in most areas of the country here, Redbreast 12 is coming at $64. Okay? If I would say, if you do not find it on sale, meaning less than $64, $65, okay, do see if they have the Redbreast. Now, right now, I think it's at $54.99 at Binny's here in Illinois or Chicagoland area, and a couple other places will probably have Redbreast on sale, Redbreast 12 on sale. Then buy the Redbreast 12. And you don't have to listen to me at all. Buy it at $65, whatever. I wouldn't buy it at $70 because you could go to one of the bigger stores and buy the cask strength for $79.99 probably. It's a $15 difference. Is that more money? Yes, of course. You know how to do math, probably better than me. But here is the idea. Why you are really going to experience Redbreast at its best at calf strength. And if it's too hot for you, you can add a little pure water to your glass, stir it around, then you have Redbreast 12 at 40%. The bottle will last longer. Yeah, see, there you go. You got to listen to scores once in a while, right? Right? Every once in a while. Everyone should listen to me once in a while. All right. Do you have any other words about you want to mention about Green Spot?
Just as good as it's ever been.
Okay.
Uh, there's a sort of mildness to it.
Yeah.
Um, but in an enjoyable way, not unchallenging, I think.
Okay.
It's just really comforting on a night like tonight. Some nice vanilla, brown complimentary flavors.
Nice. Yeah. I likened it to kind of yesterday. I heard somebody say about the other one, the Teeling, that like that's like really big like coffee and stout beer. Okay. Whereas I said the Green Spot is a little more like a pale ale. I mean, you've had a pale ale enough, or you know what I mean? Like it just has a little more of a, I don't say bitter or anything like that, or thin. Just that's it. Like it has a different, little vibe, and maybe it's a little bit more floral and winey than the Teeling. Maybe I don't know. So that's good. Thanks. Like I said, it's really nice. To have this check out and just share and see the differences, and it's all good, there you go. So Redbreast 12, I don't think I ever have changed on this one. I give this an 8.5. Okay, like I said, this is a kind of a benchmark for. I always want to have one of these around. I will probably take it my own advice. When this bottle gets down, I will buy the next one at calf strength. It is just that good, and like I said, $15 difference. Like I said, you literally could just spend that extra money, pour a couple of drops of water into your drams, and you will have lowered that to 40 ABV. All right, 8.5. This one, and obviously, today I was, I love this one so much, but I've been drinking a lot of single pot still Irish whiskey lately. I'm going to give this an 8. I might have given this an 8.7 or an 8.8 in the past. I'm going to stick with 8.7. It's just really tasty to me. And, the whole thing about single pot still Irish whiskey, they're made of copper and all that. I swear, I probably be crazy, but it's probably more of a chemical thing. It's not simply that I taste copper. But this has this nice, all the stuff I mentioned with breakfast fruits and all that, or breakfast flavors, and that there's just this nice kind of, I don't know. I just have it. I wake up in the morning and I just have a splish of this. No, I don't do that. I just wanted to use the word splish. I almost said the word splish. I don't know. Have you ever used that before? I poured her the Green Spot, and she wanted just a little more. She said, just one more splish, and I love it. All right. I'm probably going to have, let's see, you know what? I ended up drinking just about everything. I'm going to have some more Kilbeggan in the night. And that's cool. Tomorrow or maybe Tuesday, but, depending on when we get going, we'll kind of wrap up our single pot still Irish whiskey, I think, with 2 more. I'm going to bring you tomorrow. I'm going to talk about Green Spot. We're going to bring you the 12-year-old Yellow Spot is coming, and then we are going to talk about Glendalough single pot still Irish whiskey. Another new one, another one that probably has some of its material sourced from Cooley. Yeah, cool. Lee? Whatever, see you tomorrow. Cooley. Cool, Lee. Now if I could just get some nice cup of, end the night with a nice cup of tea. Ling? It ain't easy being green.